Hey royalties, let me give you my personal list of best cultivation manhwa. So, who are cultivators? Cultivators are people with power beyond mortal bodies. They can flatten mountains with a punch or split the seas with a single swing of sword. Some even go as far as wanting to swallow the sun and moon. Today's manhwa recommendations are all about these monsters called cultivators. Some of the MCs here are crazily overpowered, while some start as weak as chicken among these monsters. Without any further ado, let's start. Our first recommendation is God of Martial Arts. Martial arts are the only path to respect in the world of this manhwa. The strength of a weak martial artist can only crush boulders. The strength of a strong martial artist can split rivers and even flatten mountains. The God of Martial Arts Manhwa has gained immense popularity owing to its captivating narrative and well-crafted world, which follows characters on their quest to become the most powerful and unbeatable. And of course, this is one of the insane revenge manhwa out there. The main character was plotted against and got kicked out of his family as the legitimate younger. But things turn around for him after being accepted and carefully nurtured by the sect. Sadly, this sect got betrayed and wiped out, leaving our main character as the only surviving member after the sacrifice of the sect leader and elders to protect him. This manhwa has over 600 chapters, and you will not be bored reading it. Next, we have the Eternal Supreme. One of the strongest martial emperors, Wuxia, passed away in the Tianding Mountains and was reincarnated 15 years later as Xianxia, embarking on a heaven-defying journey against the innumerable geniuses of the current timeline. Though he was the fourth strongest person on the continent before dying, this time he wanted to reach the ultimate martial arts level that had not been reached on the continent. With over 240 chapters, this cultivation manhwa is quite different from the usual stories we see. The MC here is quite shameless and his philosophy never ceases to amaze me. If you're looking for a decent manhwa to read, then consider checking it out. Next, we have Invincible at the start. This manhwa follows the journey of our protagonist Chen Chang'an. He was constantly chased around by innumerable monsters, demons, and ghosts alike. They crave his holy body because eating him would grant them immortality. One day, when a female ghost wanted to devour him, he awakens the Invincible domain system. With it, he stays in his domain to grow incredibly invincible. If you are looking for a manhwa with an incredibly overpowered main character right from the beginning, then this is it. The fight scenes and artwork are out of this world. Next, we have Martial Peak. True manhwa lovers will tell you that they have probably 10 times more from Martial Peak than Naruto. Even though it is not a goat like Naruto, Martial Peak with its 3,600 chapters is manhwa that will stretch your mind and your perspective if you are an introvert like me. In this manhwa, martial arts reigns supreme and High Heaven Pavilion does not accept weaklings. Therefore, their learning environment is designed for the survival of the fittest. Our protagonist Xianxia was among the weakest students waiting to be expelled. One day, he chanced upon a mysterious wordless black book that changed his life from a weak and insignificant fellow to an aspiring invincible master who seeks to stand at the summit of martial arts. Based on the number of these chapters alone, you can tell that this is an incredible history not to miss. So, do check it out. Next, we have Martial Arts Reign. Among his fellow mates, Yiming, the rising star of family Yi, is considered a genius. But his envious relatives deceived him, severing his meridians, impairing his capabilities, and mercilessly shackling him. Even so, Yiming never gives up since he will do anything to exact revenge on the Huang family for the murder of his parents. However, he is unaware that he is viewed by family Yi as a nuisance and that a massive plot is about to reveal itself. This is an incredible manhwa with good character development. Even though the translation was a bit messy at the beginning, it got better after a few chapters, and I have read every single one of its 600+ chapters. This is the only manhwa where you would see the funniest dragon. Next, we have Magic Emperor. As the Demon Emperor, Zhuo Yifan used his millennia-old wisdom and strength to overcome all his opponents until the day he was betrayed. But he managed to reincarnate with his last breath into the body of a pitiful young servant. The servant has a spirit tie with his young lady Luo. This spell made our MC to be oddly attached to her. However, as a Demon Emperor, he decided to work towards breaking this spell. His first step is to make this declining family into a top powerhouse on the continent. This is another manhwa that I strongly recommend to every subscriber on my channel. This is a manhwa that will open your eyes to psychological warfare. Though I'm not advising you to be evil, you need to know about how tricky people can be in order to protect yourself. So, make sure to put this manhwa on your read list. Next, we have Banished Disciples Counterattack. Since its initial publication, this cultivation manhwa has completed over 450 chapters. Chen, the main character, had committed his life to defending his sacred sect's medical field. However, the medicine he was guarding was taken during an uninvited battle with his enemies, and even his allegiance to the sect was insufficient to keep him out of trouble. He was ruthlessly betrayed and was banished from the sect. Chen then decides to become a stronger cultivator after he is accidentally hit by a meteorite. This is one of my favorite manhwa, though the translator did not do a good job on some chapters. If you are looking for a manhwa where the author is ruthless towards the MC, then this is a must-read manhwa. Next, we have Tales of Gods and Demons. The narrative spans more than 500 chapters and chronicles the adventures of Nilai, a formidable demon spiritualist who lost his life in combat and was reborn as a younger version of himself who retained all of his memories. Nilai sets out to become the greatest spiritualist and vanquish his opponents who have previously defeated him, using his knowledge of the future to alter both his own and his loved one's destiny. The series is renowned for its complex world building, well-rounded characters, and gripping plot that is hyper-enticing. Moreover, the artwork is excellent, featuring intricate illustrations that vividly depict the Manhwa's world. Next, we have Peerless Battle Spirit. In the magnificent continent of Kunlun, strength reigns supreme. Martial artists, through the use of martial spirits, communicate with nature, entering the path of self-cultivation. Strong cultivators on this continent are able to annihilate mountains and rivers with a single strike. And in a barren corner of this continent was our MC. He was considered trash because of the martial spirit he awoke, though he was a genius who excelled in comprehending martial arts. One day he was struck by lightning and unexpectedly gained a divine battle spirit. With the help of this battle spirit, he set on the road to become invincible and challenge the gods. Next, we have Library to Heaven's Path. This manhwa follows the story of our MC Xianxia, who finds himself becoming an instructor after entering another universe. A secret library system called Library of Heaven's Path then appears in his mind along with his transcension. A book on its flaws will be automatically compiled in the library as long as it is something he has seen, whether it is a human or an object. As a result of this, he becomes a formidable instructor that defies common sense. This is another manhwa with a decent and unique storyline. However, if you do not like manhwa with long discussion panels, then this is not for you. The artwork of this manhwa perfectly complements the storyline, so do give it a try. Next, we have Global Martial Arts. This one has a fairly high rating as well. What if we combine martial arts in the isekai genre? It sounds fantastic, I know. The plot of this manhwa centers on an adolescent who is reborn into a different reality, a world in which martial arts rule supreme. Do you think this might be a little too much for him? To get him through all of this, there is a system in place. Most people are tired of this system-based manhwa by now. This one, though, is a little different. The system does not entirely depend on the MC. He works out hard and studies. The art style is also pretty neat, so it is a pleasant read. Next, we have Nano Machine. If the thought of having science fiction flash in Murim world is thrilling to you, then this is for you. In this manhwa, our MC is the illegitimate son of the leader of the heavenly demon cult. His mother was not from any prominent clan within the cult. Even though she was the most loved one by the cult leader, she was seen as a mere commoner by the official wives and the prominent clans backing them. The weak MC had no ambitions whatsoever to vie for the position of future cult leader. However, his half-siblings decided to eliminate him as a show of power to stop each other. Thankfully, before the assassins could kill him, his descendant from the future appeared to rescue him. His descendant then injected him with the Nano Machine, making it possible for him to turn the tables. He then starts his nefarious plan of gaining power and getting revenge on the ones who caused the death of his mother. This manhwa is quite interesting with an incredible plot. As for the artwork, it is done in a way that accurately brings the beauty of the plots. Next, we have All Hail the Sect Leader. Here is another lucky earthling who transmigrated into the Cultivation world and gets a system with a quest to build a powerful sect. Our protagonist Xianxia found himself reincarnating into the body of the solo member of the Iron Bone sect. Not only has he become the sect master by default, but the sect is also the lowest sect in the area. The system then asks him to build the strongest sect on the continent within 1,000 years. If he fails to complete the quest, his body and soul will be blown to pieces by the bomb the system bound on him. He then embarks on a journey to build a sect with abnormally powerful disciples, as he believes that he will become a godfather on the continent as long as he has powerful disciples. This manhwa is amazing with a plot that is filled with comedy, and watching the main character grow and adapt to this dog-eat-dog world is quite fulfilling. Next, we have history's #1 founder. This is probably the manhwa to read when you are going through something. In this manhwa, our main character was transmigrated into a cultivation world filled with crazily overpowered individuals. Luckily, he got an overpowered system, but this system gave him a task that seemed almost impossible to complete. Not only is the main quest to create the strongest sect that has ever existed, but all his disciples must be first-rate talents in cultivation. Haha, in this world those powerful clans will stop at nothing to even recruit second-rate talents, talk less of first-rate talents. This is an incredible manhwa that I strongly recommend reading. Though the main character started extremely weak as a chicken, he is probably the main character with the strongest mental strength ever. Next, we have Keep a Low-Profile Sect Leader. Are you looking for a manhwa where the MC likes to show off? Then this is just the manhwa for you. This manhwa follows the story of our protagonist Liu Kog, who got transmigrated into Xianxia continent, a cultivation game he used to play before dying. Having an idea of the plots to come and a system to help him level up, he goes around showing off in every little thing he does. His sole goal is to make the low-level sect where he reincarnated into a first-rate powerhouse. On the other hand, he is patiently waiting for when the beta server of the game will launch. with the sole purpose of enslaving the players in order to build a massive amount of wealth for his sect. This is an amazing manual with crazy artwork, so do check it out. Next is my female apprentices are all big shots from the future. In the vast starry sky of this universe, countless worlds exist and there are also countless powerful gods there. They have the ability to cut down stars, swallow the sun, and determine the life and death of hundreds of millions of creatures. Each time those gods fight, countless worlds and civilizations get destroyed, leaving behind ruined worlds and civilizations. One day, the Saint system was born with the sole purpose of finding a suitable host. This host will then go back in time to accept future big shots as disciples and change the fate of the ruined worlds. After searching for years, the system finally found the only compatible host meditating in the void. It directly started binding with the host, introducing itself in an arrogant tone, not knowing that the host is actually the most powerful being in the universe. This is a manual with a crazily overpowered main character, but he likes laying low and not showing off. No comment, go and check it out. Next, we have I Upgrade by Rewarding Apprentices. This story follows the journey of our protagonist Yu Zhengfeng. He finds himself reincarnating into a cultivation world. After this, he grew up in a small sect named Nine Sword Mountain. This sect was just a low-level sect protecting villages surrounding it. However, one day the sect master, who happens to be the master of our MC, was assassinated but sent his soul to make our trashy MC the sect leader, and informed him that another sect challenged their sect, so the MC needs to prepare for the coming fight. Panicked, our main character decides to flee but gets interrupted by the activation of the system. It then tells him that as long as he gives something to his disciples, the system will reward him with something that is at least twice the value of what he has given, and the maximum reward will be 10,000 times the value of what he gives. Now, with the system, he quickly looks for who to take as a disciple. This is an amazing manual where the main character is constantly targeted by forces more powerful than his, without giving him time to develop, and most times he gets forced to retreat. Next, we have Chronicles of Heavenly Demon. This is another insane revenge manhwa not to miss. Our MC in this manhwa and his master got killed unjustly. He and his master are members of the Spearmaster sect. This sect can only have 2 people max because of their overpowered spearmanship. After they were killed, the artifact of their sect sent his soul out and he was reincarnated in the body of a small boy. This boy was currently undergoing training under the demonic cult. Our MC laid low and practiced hard to get his revenge. This was the very first Murim manhwa that I read, so I highly recommend it because without it catching my attention, I would probably not be reading Murim manhwa. Next, we have My Disciples Are All Big Villains. In this manhwa, our MC transmigrated into the body of an old man at the end of his road. Not only was this old man the patriarch of the Heavenly Demon Pavilion, but he was also the biggest villain who had raised 9 disciples. Each of his disciples was a renowned villain, vicious enough to even calculate their master. As soon as our MC woke up in his body, they were besieged by the top 10 experts in this world. Now, our MC is faced with enemies both outside and inside, on top of this body being weak with only a few days worth of life energy. Thankfully, he got a system, and with it, he set to defend his new place and reform the villainous disciple. I strongly recommend this manhwa as it doesn't have boring cultivation panels. The artwork and fight scenes are really amazing, coupled with a bit of comedy. Next, we have Swallowed Star. In this manhwa, our protagonist Luo Feng finds himself in a post-apocalyptic world full of sentient monsters. He then resolves to become a warrior, progressively improving as he overcomes numerous challenges. However, his voyage is marred by carnage when he encounters foes far more powerful than himself. Swallowed Star is a must-read action manhwa with its heart-pounding action, futuristic setting, and compelling storyline. The artwork and storyline complement each other well, and seeing the main character evolve from nothing is very satisfying. So, go ahead and check it out. Next, we have Martial God Regressed to Level 2. Can you talk about dungeon-based manhwa in this day and age while leaving behind elements from games? Impossible, and the same goes for Martial God Regressed to Level 2. The BattleNet game, which was seen as just another game, turned into humanity's nightmare. After the release of the Space League, the game turned into a survival game for all organisms in the universe, and mankind represented by Earth kept failing until it was deemed worthless. Upon this decision, humanity was deleted from existence, but our MC could not be deleted. This was because his skill Nameless Divine Art resisted deletion. The gods then saw potential in him and sent him back into the past with his memories. This manhwa is incredible, with a fast-paced story without leaving out any important information. The artwork is also incredible, so do check it out. Next, we have Warrior Guard. Do you guys not believe that romance improves everything? Even within the manhwa universe, when romance is added, every genre is enhanced. The plot of Warrior Guard centers on 2 destined lovers. They set out on their quest to become the most formidable warriors in the Jianghu area. Okay, this manhwa's primary theme is romance, but we'll read it as long as martial arts are involved, right guys? You'll have no trouble reading this manhwa because of its neat art style. Next, we have the demonic master of Mount Kunlun. The true heavenly demon devoted his entire life to tidying up the mess left by his vengeful father. However, he passed away a year after ascending to the demon cult's throne. He is granted a second chance by fate. When he wakes up, he is an abandoned baby, but a Mount Kunlun sect elder quickly comes to get him. This time, he will enjoy life on his terms rather than using it as a tool for other people. You won't even realize how quickly the excellent pacing and plot will have you scrolling for the next chapter. The more you read, the more you come to like the strange-looking artwork. Lastly, we have Beyond Myriads of People. This manhwa follows the adventure of our main character Yifeng. He gets transmigrated into a cultivation world and his system tells him that he is unable to cultivate. So, it pushes him to complete tasks such as painting, cooking, and training in raw martial arts. Unknown to him, he is actually the strongest existence in the world. On the other hand, other people can tell that he is an existence beyond their imagination, while he insists that he is a mortal who cannot cultivate. This manhwa is filled with comedy as the MC creates a sect full of weirdos. His disciples cultivate powers similar to other manhwa main characters like One Punch Man, One Piece characters, and many more. If you are looking for something to laugh, then this is the manhwa you are looking for. Now that I have given you this list, let me know in the comments section the name of your favorite manhwa. Do not forget to like and share this video with your friends, they might be looking for a new manhwa to read. Peace out.